Shalom, shalom. First things first, I'm going to give all praises, glory, honor, and power to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. And salutations to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth in all sincerity and diligence, risking both your lives and freedoms to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. This is your brother, Rechagabar. All right, we'll be doing this lesson going into the true history, all right, of Thanksgiving, which you people so fervently celebrate year after year. All right. And we know that, the so-called Native Americans, all right, are the tribe of Gad. OK, and the so-called Seminole Indians are of the tribe of Reuben. OK, and these are our people. OK, the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Americans, OK, all suffered the same fate at the hands of these devils, man, at the hands of the so-called white man. You know, when you go into the oppression, right, the massacres, the genocide, right, the rape, rob, and murder, okay, the stealing of the land, you know, when you actually, pay attention, you realize that, oh, that happened to, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Why do these people share the similar plight, right? Well, in today's lesson, what I want to touch on is the true history behind Thanksgiving, man. What was going on around the time of the 1600s, to where, hey, the story that they tell you, the doctored up, whitewashed, if you will, story that they teach us in school, man, is, hey, it don't even touch on what really was going down, man, But I'm going to read through this article, and that's pretty much going to be the point, all right? And we know that our people, all right, are still going to continue to celebrate this wicked-ass holiday nonetheless, man. And that's the reason why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah has to do away with the undesirables of our nation, man, because there's no way in hell you should be celebrating, right, the feasting, all right, of your oppressors destroying your people, man. Each and every time that, these pilgrims, all right, would destroy, would conquer a village, burn the houses down, burn the women and children, alive, right? Which we're going to read through it. OK, every time they would do that, they would have a feast, and then it ended up becoming a national holiday, man. This is why us in this truth, we call it Thanksgiving, because that's exactly what you people are celebrating, man. Right. And this goes to show you all of your little holidays are rooted in paganism, man. This is why the Lord tells us to come up out of the world and to forsake the traditions of men. These holidays are rooted in paganism, the worship of Satan, occultism, and ultimately, the destruction of your own people, And we know Jake is how niggas is, man. They're going to continue to do it nonetheless, man, which once again, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is going to destroy and kill the undesirables, man. Because, hey, you ain't no better than a coon nigga that'll go and stand and march along with some Klan members, man. But let me read through this, all right? And that's going to be the point, So this article is titled The 1637 Pequot Massacre, the real story of the annual U.S. Thanksgiving. All right. And yeah, you people can try to say, oh, well, I'll just do it to get around family and friends and, to say everything I'm thankful for, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's how all these religions are. Or Salaki, that's how all these holidays are, man. It's a lot. They paint it out to be just a light fairy, thing. Right. But the whole time when you go into the sinister meaning behind it, that's what you're actually worshiping. That's what you're actually giving energy towards, man. Unknowingly, if you will. But hey, the truth is out here, man. Just take the time to research it and find it out. And then the whole time you people be getting around these people, your family and friends that you ain't seen. You know what I'm saying? You get around them one time out of the year to Jeff and act like you all love each other. And then you go right back to arguing and feuding and, on bullshit the very next day, man. Full of it. But we don't digress. It says 1636 Pequot Massacre, the real story of the annual U.S. Thanksgiving. All right, let's start here. It says the story began in 1614 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full Patuxet Indians bound for slavery. They left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped, right? And this is going to give you the history, man, of, what happened. We know when these pilgrims, all right, came over here, man. All right, the Spanish, the French, and the British, when they came over here to quote unquote colonize, this is what they were doing. They were bringing diseases. They were bringing Judites, okay, the Southern Kingdom Israelites over, from the west coast of Africa, due to transatlantic slave trade, they were bringing them over, all right, bringing us over. And then they was also shipping Northern Kingdom Israelites, okay, the Gadites, the Reubenites, etc., over to Europe, right? See, this is the slavery, man. This was the when you go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, tells you we would go into Egypt again on ships, and that we would be under this oppression, man. It says they left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped. By the time the pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts Bay, they found only one living Patuxet Indian, a man named Squanto, who had survived slavery in England and knew their language. See, it says and knew their language, which goes to show you the natives, so-called natives, clearly spoke, all right, a different language than those pilgrims, right? Than those settlers that were coming over here, man. See, so what did they speak? They pretty much spoke the broken Hebrew, and they have particular artifacts, and things like that substantiate that claim, man. They spoke broken Hebrew, all right, which shows you that they're just like us, man. It says he taught them to grow corn and to fish, and negotiated a peace treaty between the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag Nation. At the end of their first year, the Pilgrims had a great feast honoring Squanto and the Wampanoags. But as the word spread in England about the paradise to be found in the New World, religious zealots called Puritans began arriving by the boatload. Finding no fences around the land, they considered it to be in the public domain. Joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest. See, the scriptures tell you that, let's grab this real quick. And we were oppressed together, man. Right? I believe that's Jeremiah. Give me one moment. I believe that's Jeremiah the 50th or 51st chapter. Yeah, Jeremiah 50 and 33, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel, northern kingdom, and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Right. And this is that final captivity, man, wherein we are oppressed together to this day, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. All right. OK, it says finding no fences around the land, they considered it to be in the public domain. Joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest. But the Pequot Nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back. OK, and that's why scriptures say Gad, a troop, shall overcome, but he shall overbeat. So, let me grab this. Right. I don't want to butcher it. Right. We were the tribe of Gad. OK, were overcome by those pilgrims, man. But what? We're going to get the we're going to get the victory, man. Right. This is Genesis 49 and 19. It says Gad, which the Hebrew tribe Gad, all right, or God, OK, would actually mean troop. OK, Gad means a troop. Right. OK, they were a warrior tribe, man. OK, those Gadites. Right. The so-called natives were a warrior tribe. OK, but it says Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last, man. And we're at that point to where the Israelites have wakened back up, the elect, So now with the tribes coming back together, okay, the elect Israelites coming back together, you know what I'm saying, forsaking all of these holidays, serving Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, being on one chord, singing one song, okay, the elect Israelites, all right, are overcoming these devils, man. And Gad is going to get the upper hand, all right, and ultimately get that revenge, okay, back on these devils, man. All of the tribes are eventually, okay, the 12 tribes of Israel are going to get payback on these Edomites as well as these other heathen, man. Right? When you read, it's several scriptures, but when you read Psalms, the 149th chapter, okay, tells you that we're going to inflict punishments on the people, man. You know, right? Let me grab this real quick, and I'm trying to stick to the point. Okay, but when you read Psalms, the 149th chapter, I'm going to skip to the point. Verse 6, it says, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand to execute vengeance. Okay, we know what vengeance is, man. Upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of honor, or Salaki, with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, praise ye Yahweh. And the saints, the scriptures tell you, okay, are those who entered into this covenant by sacrifice, which are the Israelites, man. So the Israelites are going to have the pleasure of executing vengeance upon these heathen, man. This is the latter end, right, where it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Yeah, because, hey, we're going to get that payback, man. Right? You see? Okay. You know, because even growing up in a public school, you know, before I came into the truth, I didn't know this true history, man. I didn't know this, you know, what was the case of what was actually going down. You know, hell, when you deal with the Southern Kingdom, you know, we didn't know that, so-called blacks ruled Europe for nearly 1,000 years, man. You know, during what they call the so-called Dark Ages, the Middle Ages. Yeah, it was a dark time for these so-called white people, okay, Esau, because his ass he was not ruling. He wasn't in power. You know, the coat of arms, the knights, the Templars, you know, literally everything over there in Europe, that was all us, man. You know, they call what's the name? I'm blanking on it. I'm blanking on the name, you know, but we know Esau wasn't in power during that time, man. You know, so, you know, when you wake up to the truth, you have to come into this true understanding of the history, you know, and forsake this place, man. You know, you people are sitting there celebrating your oppressor's victory over your ass, man. You know, and I know you jakes are still going to do it, right? Because, you know, it's hard for, you know, our people, it's hard for Jake to not go along with the flow, man. You know, niggas always want to, you know, Keisha, our people want to, they want to be in a mix. You know, if family's doing it, well, I don't really see why, man. I mean, you know, that was years ago, you know. And I'm just doing it, you know, just to get around family and be, you know, stuff I'm thankful for, man. But it's like when you know the truth of what the fuck this shit is, man, you're not supposed to be celebrating regardless, man. You know, we have our high holy days, okay? We have our high holy days, man, you know, that the Most High has given us. See, this is not one of them, you know? But back to the point. It says, but joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives for slaves and killing the rest. But the Pequot Nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars ever fought. Yeah. Okay, the Pequot Wars of the 1600s, I believe is what they call them. It says in 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, over 700 men, women, and children of the Pequot tribe had gathered for their annual Green Corn Festival, which is our Thanksgiving celebration. In the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot or clubbed to death, while the terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive, man. See, the next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving, because 700 unarmed men, women, and children have been murdered, man. See? It says, cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village. See, so they went on a fucking rampage, man. Right? Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery while the rest were murdered. See? Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible, man. You know, very atrocious history. Very horrifying things were taking place, you know, while you people want to sit there and fill your fat stomach up, right? You know, even the meal, the cranberry sauce represents the blood, okay, and the stuffing of the, I forget the exact breakdown of that meal. I'll have to try to find that. You know, the stuffing, the turkey, you know, all of that has the meaning behind it, man. You know, and it was all to celebrate the death of our people, man. You know, the murder, right? So while you Jakes is out there, because it's really you the ones who I'm really going into on this lesson, because you're not supposed to be celebrating this shit, man. You know, these heathen are going to do it in ignorance. You know, ultimately, hey, they don't even know what the hell is going on, man. You know, but you niggas out there, you know, hey, you keep celebrating these pagan ass customs if you want to, man. All right, don't ask us to come or to, you know, push up to a function, you know what I'm saying, and honor this wicked ass shit, man. All right. It says, cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked village after village. And yeah, you had particular tribes that joined along with Esau, man. I mean, you had it's the same shit that always happens, man. You have particular sellouts, okay, amongst the nation, you know, that join along hands with the devil, right? Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery while the rest were murdered. Boats loaded with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Bounties were paid for Indian scalps to encourage as many deaths as possible. See? Following an especially successful raid against the Pequot in what is now Stamford, Connecticut, the churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory over the heathen savages, right? Which, imagine that, you know, here they are referring to the tribes, okay, as savages, but yet these are the same cave beasts that came out, you know, on all fours, didn't wipe their ass, didn't bathe, you know, living in them caves, you know, freaking off amongst each other and with animals, you know, but yet they came over here and considered the civilized, you know, Gadites as savages, man, you know. But hey, history is told by the one who's in power, right? It says during the feasting, the hacked off heads of natives were kicked through the streets like soccer balls. Even the friendly Wampanoag did not escape the madness. Their chief was beheaded and his head impaled on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it remained on display for 24 years. So even joining hands with these devils, they still turn on you, man. Right? Let's grab this real quick. Showing you're not supposed to join hands with the devil, because like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness, man. Psalms 55:20, it says, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. See, when you go into the history, we know that when Esau came over here, right? When the colonizers came over here, they established well over 100 treaties with the natives, the so-called natives, man, and they broke every single last one of them, right? It says he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. And look it up, man. That's why, you know, you have to do the research. You have to go into the history, you know, to not be ignorant. Okay. Scriptures say my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man, because y'all don't even care to look into these things, man. You know, you know, you got black only Israelites out there, you know, that are dumb as hell, man. That don't even make sense when you literally see that these so-called Native Americans went through the exact same things we went through, man. I mean, being sold into slavery, being shipped back over there to Europe, you know, and while they was being shipped over there to Europe, you know, the Southern Kingdom was being shipped over here. There's a whole bunch of, you know, as Christians say, they was sending gifts to one another, man. You know, see, the killings became more and more frenzied, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre. So there's your truth behind why you celebrate that, man. George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set instead of celebrating each and every massacre. See, later Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving Day to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against the starving Sioux in Minnesota, man. You know, when you read about the killing of the buffalo, you know, they were starving us off, starving our people out. See, this shows you that Salakia, man. This shows you that Judah and Israel were oppressed together, man. We went through the same fucking shit, just like we go through the same shit to this day, man. All right. That's why, you know, you have brothers that pretty much have went to reservations, you know, and they say that, hey, that's pretty much like the ghetto, man, for those Gadites, for those so-called natives, man. You know, all right. I hear stories that, you know, a lot of those so-called Native Americans, okay, the Gadites, the Reubenites, you know, etc. A lot of them are, you know, they drink themselves to death, man. You know, because this devil, hey, man, this devil is broken. He's destroyed our people. You know, when you look at a nigga in the hood, you know, hey, it's pretty much the same thing as dealing with the Northern Kingdom tribes, man, because we're ultimately one nation, you know, with the same plight, the same shit. Okay. Yeah, you know, and that was pretty much the point. Okay, that was the point on that, man. And that's why the Most High says he hates and he despises your feast days, you know. All right, ultimately because, you know, when you apply that to these modern day these days that you people celebrate, these holidays, man, they're rooted in what, like I said, just straight up wickedness, man. You know, they rooted in cultism, Satanism, and ultimately, hey, the destruction and the downfall of you Israelites out there, man. So if you still celebrating this shit in 2024, man, you know, you really need to do some soul searching because it's highly likely, you know, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is not dealing with you, you know, because we're in that time where the truth is out. You know, you can hop on the internet. You can research these things. You can figure the history out for yourself, man. And to continue to be willingly ignorant is it's ultimately going to cost you your life, you know, because the Most High said, come up out of this place, man, meaning forsake this way, right? We were created to be a holy people, set apart. We got our own customs. We got our own holy days, you know. Matter of fact, I think, you know, we got Hanukkah, right, coming up, you know, which ultimately represents the victory through the Maccabees that we had got from those Greeks, you know, that we had got from the Greeks at that time, right? So we have our celebratory days. We have these particular high holy days, but, you know, Jake don't want to hear that, man. So like I said, there's going to be a price, which is really going to be your life to pay for choosing to stay ignorant, you know, of these particular things, man. But that's pretty much been the point. You know, I'm going to go ahead and give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rakakadash. Death to America, Wah Baba Ball. Shalom.